Good evening, and welcome to Election Night in America 2020, America's Choice. Tonight, the final votes from the highly anticipated Massachusetts Democratic primary for the United States Senate will be cast and counted. The candidates tonight are incumbent U.S. Senator Ed Markey and Congressman Joe Kennedy III. Things turned nasty in the final weeks coming into tonight between these two, with the race being one of the biggest tests for progressives in the Democratic Party that we've seen in a long time. Progressives have performed well in primaries this year, namely Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman, who each unseated long-serving incumbents in their House primaries last month. However, the dynamics of this Senate primary in Massachusetts are a little different. For more on the candidates going head-to-head tonight, let's turn to our interactive board here with some short biographies. Incumbent Ed Markey, who is 74 years old, has served as Massachusetts junior senator since 2013, previously serving as congressman for the 7th District since 1976. A self-described progressive, Markey is a co-author of the Green New Deal, along with Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Some analysts see this race as a race for who will become more progressive in the U.S. Senate, and having that on his record could certainly help him in winning that vote. Joe Kennedy III, on the other hand, grandson of former U.S. Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy and grandnephew of former President John F. Kennedy, will look to capitalize on his family's popularity in Massachusetts. A former attorney, Kennedy is currently serving as the congressman for Massachusetts' 4th District since 2013, and at just 39 years old, Kennedy is looking to make the next big step in his political aspirations. He gave the Democratic response to President Trump's 2018 State of the Union and is viewed by many to be a rising star for the next generation of the party. That being said, he does trail in Real Clear Politics' polling average by over 11 points. Markey has received an average of 52% of support in polls conducted since July 31st, while Kennedy trails a ways behind at 40.8%. Over 700,000 votes are rumored to have been cast by mail going into today, with the overwhelming majority of that vote coming in from more suburban Massachusetts, where Markey is expected to outperform Kennedy by quite a lot. The true test for Kennedy will be turnout in the urban areas of Massachusetts, especially in Boston. The record turnout for a Democratic primary in Massachusetts is 1.3 million votes. So the closer we get to that number, the better for him. But with that, the polls have now closed in Massachusetts, so let's go to our EP studios for a key race alert. We've got 8% of the early vote coming in right now, and as expected, Markey is out to a convincing early lead. It's expected that over half of all votes cast in this primary came in early voting, so this is still just a very small sum of that. We expect more of that vote to come pouring in very, very quickly here. And as you take a look at the county map we have here on screen, most of that 8% is coming out of suburban areas in western Massachusetts. Markey's got a 17,000 vote lead right now in this opening key race alert. And just like that, all of the early vote is now in, with it making up 56% of the expected vote tonight. Markey leads by a little over 11 points at 55.64% of the vote to Kennedy's 44.36%. 82,000. That is the gap Kennedy is going to have to make up today in-person voting, which is a lot, and he'll be counting on high turnout in urban areas. But even then, that margin looks almost insurmountable. And looking at the county map, we obviously have votes in from all counties now, and you can see the geography of this race, with Kennedy leading in Boston and the surrounding suburban areas, and Markey really running up the score in the outer suburbs across the state. And now we are moments away from our first in-person numbers. The race has tightened in terms of the percentage of overall vote, with 79% of the expected vote coming in so far. But the gap between Kennedy and Markey is holding pretty steady at around 80,000 votes. This is not a good sign for Kennedy whatsoever. as even with a high voter turnout, he's not really closing in on Markey as he was expected to. Looking at the county map, things have remained relatively the same, but with almost all of the expected vote coming in from Boston now, it's hard to see a path to victory for Kennedy tonight. The official can now project that incumbent Senator Ed Markey has survived his primary challenge in Massachusetts, defeating Congressman Joe Kennedy III in a high-stakes affair, where earlier this year, betting odds and polls favored Kennedy by quite a bit. Markey is victorious by a margin of almost 8 points, and he wins by over 100,000 votes with everything counted. Markey's performance in suburban Massachusetts was too much for Kennedy to overcome, and Markey will get another 6 years in office following a November general election he is all but certain to win. But that does it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please make sure to like the video down below if you did, as well as subscribe if you haven't already. Check out more content from my channel here as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and tune in next time.